Welcome back, everybody. Parenting is challenging and sometimes it's just frustrating. And that's why ABC4 News at 4 has teamed up with Donna Tatro for Kids Under Construction. She's joining us from LA via Zoom. And joining us again today is Denise Pope with Stanford's Challenge Success. So Denise, let's talk about homework today. What does the research show as far as what is useful when it comes to time and content for elementary school kids, middle school kids, and then finally those high school students?
And Denise, how can parents really support their kids?
There's actually a lot of misconceptions when it comes to homework. People believe that it's time on task that does the trick, and it turns out that it's not the quantity of homework, but the quality of homework that makes a difference. One of the things that we found that was pretty surprising, actually, is that elementary homework, that is for kids in kindergarten all the way up through grade 4, maybe even up to grade 5, really does not correlate with academic achievement, with one exception, and that is reading for pleasure. So all of those worksheets and all of the homework that your kids are doing, your little kids are doing, that's really not correlating with academic achievement for them. When you get into middle school and high school, there is a correlation between homework and academic achievement. But again, it's not necessarily about the time on task. The rough rule looks at probably about 10 minutes per grade level in middle school by age. So if they're in 8th grade, it's 8 times 10, that's 80 minutes. If you're in 7th grade, it's 7 times 10, so that's 70 minutes. Not to go above an hour and a half in middle school, and not to go above about 2 hours in high school. But what is much more important than the time on task is what is actually being asked of the students to do, and if they think it's relevant, useful, and doable on their own.
So with all of that being said, how can parents support their children?
Well, one thing that we like to use is a sports analogy. If you think about soccer, we want you to be on the sideline cheering. We want you to get them prepared with everything they need to do. If you're in soccer, you'll get their cleats, you'll get them all signed up for their activity. If you're doing the homework, you're going to be a parent who's got their clear space, they've had a nice snack, they have the time to sit down and do homework, but you don't run out on the field and move their legs for them in soccer. You really are not helping them do their homework, or actually correcting their homework, or editing their homework, or revising their homework. You're just there to be the cheerleader on the side. One of the things that means is making sure they have enough time in the day to do homework, which means don't overschedule them, and make sure that they are actually ready and interested in the assignment. Show an interest in learning yourself, and your kids may show an interest in learning themselves.
Okay, so much good stuff in that answer. Let's talk about this. What do you say to the parent who has a hard time getting their child to do their homework? It's a battle every single night. So what do you suggest in that situation?
And let's talk about making mistakes in homework. We've got to let our kids do this, right, Denise?
I would say you have to go and advocate at the school and talk to the teacher. One of the things you can try to do before it gets to that point is to figure out why they're frustrated. Are they frustrated because they think it's boring? They think it's not relevant? Are they frustrated because they're exhausted after a really long day at school and extracurriculars? Are they hungry? Are they worried that they're going to get a bad grade or make a mistake? Once you can tease out the answer, then you can figure out the solution, right? Make time and space for homework. Make sure that the kid feels like you are not the homework police. Make sure they understand that it's okay to make mistakes. That's actually how learning happens. And if none of that works, then we do want you to go ahead and advocate. Go to the teacher and say what you've been seeing with your kid. You won't be the only parent.
Okay, I want to talk about the making mistakes part. So talk about letting kids make mistakes in relation to homework.
It's really hard as a parent to see your kid scribble all over a paper and turn in something that you don't think that is good, that won't get a good grade, or that they didn't really show their best work on. But homework should really be between the school and the parent. So you want to let your kids make those mistakes. If the teacher is using homework as a gauge for understanding, and you're correcting all the writing and you're correcting all the math, then that's not going to be a useful assignment for the teacher to see how your kid is really doing. So you have to let go your own issues around grades and perfectionism and allow the child to turn in something that really is their own work and learn from those mistakes.
Okay, so much good stuff. Homework is such an interesting situation to navigate, so some great ideas today. Denise, thank you so much for joining us yet again. Denise Pope with Stanford's Challenge Success. You can find more information on the work she's doing on our website, abc4.com, and when you're there, you could check out Donna Tatro's podcast, Kids Under Construction. That is waiting for you as well. And if you happen to have a question for Donna, please send them to us, kidsunderconstruction@abc4.com. Donna has so much knowledge and information, and she also has a huge team that she knows that can help us with answers as well. So to both of you, we say thank you very much.